Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing this February the 3rd, 2025 daily altcoin video, along with a couple of gold stock updates that you've come to expect, love, need, and deserve. And we had a super chat from Trading with J6931, and I appreciate your support. He wants to know about B2 Gold, and I am a big holder in B2 Gold and have been for since 2019. I started accumulating my B2 Gold, and we have quite a bit of it in B2 Gold, even as some of the other stocks have skyrocketed and the gold market has been slacking. And we have 1,616 B2 Gold on this one. We have them in several areas, and we have an average price of $2.89 there. Then we have an additional, oops, not that one. We have an additional 800 shares there. So that's 1,600 plus 800, 2,000, 2,400, right? And we have our average price on this one at $2.99. And it's been as high as 350 about 5 months ago. And then KINROSS Gold is the one that I wish I had more. We've been up as much as 130%. At current price, we're up 119.34%. I do own some MTA, which we're even on 200 shares. I own some Pan America Silver. We're up 43% there. I own some First Majestic Silver, and I do have Barrick Gold too, about 200 shares of Barrick Gold as well. I have quite a bit of mining shares. Um, and B2 Gold, thanks to my beautiful audience member. And if you want to, yes, become members of Jabroni Killer, which a few of you have, and I appreciate it over the last 7 days, we're starting to grow. And my goal is to get up to 20 here in maybe the next 6 to 10 days with your support. It's in the video description and or pinned comment. But if we go to B2 Gold, and these are all the gold companies that I own. I have gold, I have silver, I have B2 Gold, Kinross Gold, Barrick Gold, First Majestic, Fortuna Mining, Pan America Silver, Metallo Royalty and Streaming, and I do own 300 shares of Rivian because I do believe in the future they will break even. And by then, their stock price will be a lot closer to their all-time high, and $180 is their all-time high. I think in the next couple of years, there will be a ferocious run up to near 100, and I have all of my shares, I think, averaged in at about $13.50. So we've been doing very good there. But B2 Gold has been one that, for whatever reason, has been a dog in the race. It has not been performing like I've expected it to, with gold now just below $3,000. And if we do take a look at gold real quick, we had a gold target all the way up there at $3,538 from about three and a half, about when we started making this channel in 2021. And if we look at what our thesis was on that, we had a major cup and handle in gold in the weekly, monthly time frame that took from that started after the last peak in 2011. You can see the cup rounding bottom, which is very important on a cup. The neckline right there that formed a double top during the 2020 COVID pump. And then we had our handle, the down and sideways consolidation right there. And we thought we were looking at a cup and handle. And that's where we got a $3,538 target. And if you remember, we were making these predictions back when the price was down here at 17 and 1800, and the way you would do a cup and handle, and when it's in the weekly time frame over a decade long pattern, that's a very bullish and one of the most bullish patterns you can get. And you would go from the top of that rounding cup bottom to the neckline, which is resistance, 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 to the point of a breakout. And that got me up there to my $3,500 target. And ever since it's broken out officially of the cup and handle, other than a few brief pullbacks, it's been pretty much to the upside. And I thought Barrett Gold would be going with it, but there are other things that you have to that come into effect: mining, maintenance costs, floods, government interaction, seizing of gold. But we've had, if you wanted to look at what the handle was, we need to get our industry exclusive perching tool there. Right here, your handle would have been from the blow off top there when we were looking, and that was your handle right there. And then if we clone that, you can see on the clone, there was your handle. And then on the breakout, It took 3 hits to break out, and we're almost to our technical target at $3,500. And the more gold is, and the more silver is, and you can see that it only needs 25 more percent. But when we made the call, it had a long ways to go, and everyone thought it was a pipe dream. And we were down here at about $1,700. So that was a good, almost 100% move in the price of gold bullion. And B2 gold will respond, just like Kinross gold responded. But B2 gold has been ever since it hit its all-time high at $7.36. It's been on a very bearish trajectory in this falling channel where you have descending overhead resistance right there. See that? You have descending underneath support like so. And that's a bearish continuation pattern, but they break bullish when they exhaust themselves, and this will eventually exhaust itself. And I do think we're coming all the way up to some big time targets uh in B2 gold. I think eventually by the time this bull market is all set and done, it might not get that high, but by the time this bull market is all set and done, I think we're going to be sitting somewhere between 15 and $20 per share in B2 gold. That's just what I believe. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but I've been buying and accumulating for years, and I believe that's going to happen. As you can see, after the last all-time high to the COVID pump high, we went up 63%. If we just take that same trajectory on the next blow off top, 63% would get us near 13 to $15. And I think $15 is a solid target for B2 gold. And that is what I am playing. I think it will get up there. It's just when, not if. And if you just go from the last correction to the blow off top right there to the point of a breakout on this, that gets you all the way up here to $9, $10, and that will be your first major run up. And I think B2 gold, but we need to break out of this channel. But I am very bullish and I will not sell, and I haven't. I've only been accumulating since 2019. And remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I just talk about what my own personal opinions are on the market. If we get our moving averages here and that falling channel, you can see how tight these moving averages are. It's ready for a breakout. It attempted to break out back here last year in late fall when we got up to $3.52, but we got rejected by a critical $3.56 blue box of resistance. And I believe we will on the next pump to the upside, which we're trying to hold the double bottom here. See right here from back here in 2024 in February, 1 year ago today. I think when we start to pump up, we're going to start taking out these resistance zones at 291, then again at 318, then again at 356. And before you know it, we're going to be at $4.40 and taking off to the upside like we should be. And similar to what what Kinross Gold did. This is the stock that I have 400 shares of it, and you can see it had the same long depressing consolidation. It was as high, and where I believe we're going next in Kinross Gold, I think we're going to end up between $20 and the old all-time high over the next 6 to 10 months. And it's been on a steady uh rise ever since this local capitulation, similar to a drawn out bear market that B2 gold is still in, where this went from its COVID high near $10.50 and dropped all the way down at its low of 70.18%, accumulating and culminating with a big flush and a big capitulation of 50% in the matter of only a couple of months. But ever since that capitulation right there, and we stopped on July 22, going on 2.5 years later, it's been nothing but steadily up, and we're up 306.83% from its all-time low. And I believe this is just getting started. And I think that by the time Kinross meets his max potential or close before a major correction, I think we're going to be well north of $20 and pushing the old all-time high near $30 in Kinross gold. But I am very, very bullish on B2 Gold, and I think B2 Gold will do something similar from its local capitulation, whenever that is. It'll have a 3 to 4 to 500% run, and it's going to break its COVID highs, just like Kinross did. It's just being delayed. It's not a case of being denied. And if you want to get in on the B2 gold, you got to have confidence. You got to make an informed and educated decision for yourself. And then you got to have patience because the gold market, you got to have patience. Just like the cryptocurrency coins, you got to have patience. And if we look at Corm, we talked about corn maybe coming all the way back down to that 10 cents, and that would be a great buying opportunity. And we just did do a local target from right here in the daily time frame where we sat on if we have another big flush, your first initial support zone. And look how good that hit. Ah, come on. You would go, let's get into the 4 hour time frame. You would do something like this. You would have a fall. Come on. You would have a fall that would be marked by your last big move before you entered that falling channel right there. You would go from the top of there to where this falling channel capitulation started the pattern. And then your next breakout we marked and we put it right there the other day when it was still in that pattern and said that you would come down and have another one of those. And look how good we did. It came all the way down to that 13 cents almost even. And then we had a ferocious buyback. And now in Quorum, if you want to get short term bullish, you got to get back above this 20 cents and you got to hold it as support up in here. And then you can try to kick back in and shake off like a bad case of the fleas this most recent dump. If not, if you get rejected by a major support area that could start to be used as resistance, you see support and a major double bottom support right there. This could be used as resistance. And that's our next key area that we're paying attention to. So we're going to move that down to there at the 20 cents to see if that is our new resistance. And if it is, the price could come all the way back down to 10 cents, which was another area we were looking at. XCN, we were telling you we had a head and shoulders topping reversal pattern right here in the short term, where we had several of these patterns in different coins: left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and then your neckline was horizontal running along the 50-day moving average into the point of a breakout. And you can see we had that targeted at about 1 1/3 cent, and we came all the way down to the 50, just above the 50-day moving average in the daily time frame. If we go back to the daily time frame, where we bounced just above the purple trading box of support, and I do believe, and I'm still thinking that without the buyers coming back in and only the sell volume increasing, I think we're due, just like XRP was, to come back down and hit the moving averages because they haven't hit them in so long. Come on. They haven't hit these moving averages at 0.00892 in about 5 cents. And I think we're due to come and hit all three of these because we haven't hit any of them in this coin either since mid-January. And we got way far ahead of it. XMR, we did come back down to just above the 100-day moving average at 100, or the 200-day at 179. And we were talking about if it did come down, the moving averages were where you would look. And we're holding the candle body itself above the 50. We came straight through the 100-day at $194, and we got supported just above the 200-day, but essentially right along the 100-day. And now what you would want to see in the daily time frame is, can you stay above the 50-day moving average now? You can see where you wicked off, and you need to hold that 207, the 100-day moving average, or the 50-day moving average in the daily time frame of Monero. But this kind of looks like it's got that dinosaur pattern, which a few of these do, where you have the big fall, then you have the body, see that, and then you have your conveyor belt there. And usually they like to come back down to the downside, at least for a double bottom. So that's what we're going to pay attention to see if that pattern holds true. And you see another one of those similar patterns here in VTHO, something that we were talking about. We were targeting the 0.003346 when my lovely subscriber brought this up several weeks ago when it was in the middle of its major pump. But we noticed the volume was drastically declining right here. We noticed we had one big pump right there, but then the volume came back to nothing. So we were talking about the possibility that this came down in the daily time frame all the way back to the 100-day moving average in blue, and it got supported on the 50. But I'm still thinking that we're probably going to touch that 100-day, and more than likely we're coming back down to the 200-day moving average. But we'll continue to watch that. LCX did break to the downside on a big breakdown, and we said if it broke the 200-day moving average and LCX after this major run, and this was another one that we always caution, we were looking at a pattern like a falling wedge, but said if it broke down past the 200-day and didn't break out to the upside, the 14 cents was our major underneath support, and that we wicked off just above that. And now, if you want to get back short term bullish, you have to get back above where you're fighting at now. This orange resistance box that's sitting there at about 22 cents. DIA, I think we did have a targeted move get fulfilled here if we go out into the daily time frame. And we did. We hit it beautifully. We were talking about the two patterns, but the one that we were highlighting that we thought we were in was the left shoulder in red, the head, the right shoulder, the horizontal neckline, and to the point of a breakout. And that was our target at 38 cents. And we wicked off right down to 35 cents. And then we had the nice buyback. And if you want to get short term bullish on this now, you have to get above this red resistance box. But this is another coin that you should have been well prepared on for the head and shoulders breakdown, because we've been talking about that for well over 10 days now. You need to get back above the 50 cents. And on top of this resistance box and red, or else you're just going to get rejected and come all the way back down to the 39, 38 cents and try to hold that as a double bottom. In DIA, VELO is another one. Look at where we came back down and bounced off of beautifully. We came all the way back down there in this rising wedge from when a subscriber asked about the rising wedge. You can see we were all the way up here. And I said, if it doesn't hold this on the back test, you're going to hit down to the 200-day. And if you don't hold that, you're going to come back all the way down at least, and more than likely bounce, just like you did back here in this rising wedge, just like you did back there in August of 24, and just like you did back there in 23. And we did get the full lateral flush from upper resistance to lower support. And that was a 66.4% in this rising wedge, which the rising wedge that we've went over extensively is just a duck's beak. You're very wide when you enter, and you have uptrending upper resistance, uptrending lower support. It forms a duck's beak at the end of the pattern where it has to break out of. But you can see all the different times where we did in fact hit. We hit lower support for the first time in December 22. We had upper resistance in March 23. Then we fought and held on from August of 23 all the way until March of 24 before we pumped up again and came to upper resistance in May of 24. Then we double bottom from July of 24 to August of 24 on lower support. Then we triple bottom on the uptrending support in November, and then had our last recent pump. So we're still fairly confident, and we know this is the pattern that we're in. And like I've been telling you, they're bullish continuation patterns in a rising wedge, but they often 6.5 or 7 out of 10, they do break down to the downside, and the technical target would be to the bottom of the wedge, which would be 0.002429, and that's something that we're watching out for. IOTA did break down, and it came right back down to that major underneath support at 16 cents, or the bottom part of this red trading box, and that's what we were looking at. And now you would need to get back above the 200-day. That's going to act as major resistance in the daily time frame in IOTA. The old quant we were talking about on a pump up where you could go, but more recently, if we were flirting with that 200-day at 96, and we've emphasized several times now that if we broke that $96, 69.34 was your underneath support, and we wicked and held just above that. But I'm still with these two solid candles right here, sell volume. I'm still not sold on any of these coins. This isn't just a normal textbook buyback in the market. DGB2, we have this head and shoulders topping out reversal pattern short term, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, neckline. And look at that. Another one that almost hit. This target was about the 0.00512 to about 0.00577. And we wicked off just above that at 0.0063, showing you how we keep you ahead and hopefully informed with super simple and easy ways to identify and fleece this market. Peace and love to my beautiful audience.